Konnichiwa. My name is Kristy Smith. For my Genius Hour project, I asked the question, can I learn all the Japanese characters within a period of 6 weeks? So that would include hiragana, katakana, and kanji. So the reason why I chose this particular project was because learning Japanese is something very important to me. After I graduate from Brock as a teacher candidate, I want to move to Japan and teach English there. So I realized that I will probably be able to pick up the language when I'm completely submerged in it, but before I go, I want to have at least some prior knowledge of the language as I go through the first few weeks of adjusting to a brand new culture and language. So, what was my end result? Did I succeed in learning all of the characters? No, I did not. So, the only characters that I was able to learn with relative ease was hiragana, because they are, in my opinion, the easiest set of characters to learn. The thing about learning the characters is that each stroke has to be exact. If you are off in any way, the character will be wrong or could be correct, just not the character that you wanted it to be. So just like the English alphabet has the ball and stick, so for example, B, D, P, and Q, notice how they all have the ball and stick. Hiragana also has characters that are nearly identical, except for a tiny addition. So, for example, here is ka, and here is ga. They are nearly identical, except ga has this little quotation part right above here that, if left out, would end up being ka and would end up making the word that you wrote wrong. While I was learning how to write the characters, I had help from a book, which is this one, which is an introduction to the Japanese language. It has a chart of all the hiragana characters on it that I used to help me learn how to write the characters. The problem was trying to imitate them because Japanese writing is literally a form of art, and each stroke has to be precise. So as I was writing it out, I found that I had to erase it and start again, finding new ways of making that character in order for it to look as similar to the character in the book. So writing itself was very long and took a great amount of work, because even though some of the characters that I wrote looked as similar to the one in the book, others not so much, so I had to keep repeating it over and over and over again until my hand was cramping. But learning to recognize the character had their own challenge when it came to learning Japanese. So what I ended up doing was putting it into putting it on cue cards. So that had the romanized letters on the back. So it would have, this is the Japanese character. This is what you would see if you went to Japan or you read a Japanese book. And then it had the romanized letters on the back. So as I used this as a study tool to recognize the characters, being able to write them was something different. It was being able to recognize them that was just as important as learning how to write them. So I found that I was actually better able to learn them when I put them in the book, because I had that visual, and after having written them over and over and over again, being able to recognize them on a piece of paper was slightly more difficult. So having it in the cue card book made it so much more convenient, and I didn't have to do it by myself. This is a great tool for students who need this kind of help, because you can have a parent or another friend show you the character and have the romanized character on the back to say, yeah, that's correct, or no, that's not. So hiragana was a process that actually took 6 weeks to get through, because there wasn't a lot of time, first of all, and it's actually very difficult to try to copy them. But my Genius Hour project was to learn kanji and katakana as well. But given how this project helped me learn hiragana, I want to take my time learning kanji and katakana. I want to be able to study the characters and understand the meanings behind them. And that in itself is going to take time. So one of the great things about the internet is that there are quizzes and tools online that can assist me in learning and recognizing the characters, even if I don't know what they mean. So, for example, kanji is a very complex form of characters, because a single kanji character can have multiple meanings, which can make it difficult to read and understand. So if I can learn to recognize the characters when I go to Japan, I'll be able to translate the words into English, hopefully, with a dictionary, until I either learn the language or learn my way around Japan. So that's all for my TED Talk. For listening, arigatou gozaimasu.